some moments should never be filmed too closely. And this graveyard footage from Indonesia might be the reason why. On February 2nd, a family was gathered for a funeral, laying someone to rest for the final time. The ceremony had already ended, and someone began recording the grave, almost like one last look before everyone walked away. But while the family was focused on saying goodbye, the camera may have captured something they never noticed in the moment, something sitting among the mourners that clearly should not have been there. Take a close look, and tell me what feels wrong. If you watch the group carefully, you can spot a pale glowing figure sitting among the mourners. It does not look like a normal person in the crowd, and according to viewers, no one at the funeral seemed to notice it until the footage was checked later. Some believe it could be the spirit of the person who had just been buried, lingering near their own funeral. Others think it might be something else entirely, an entity drawn to grief, emotion, and the heavy energy surrounding a fresh grave. But the strangest detail is the glow. The figure appears to cast light onto the people sitting nearby, almost as if it is not just a flat camera glitch, but an actual source of light inside the scene. And that raises the obvious question. If something was glowing right beside them, how did nobody turn, react, or even notice it? Skeptics say it could be editing, exposure issues, or a clever fake. But if it was staged, it was done well enough to leave a lot of people unsettled. So what do you think? Was this a real spirit caught on camera at a funeral? Or just another carefully made paranormal hoax? You decide. On March 1st, a TikTok creator known as Chichila posted something that felt completely out of place for her account. Normally, her videos are cheerful, daily updates, casual moments, nothing connected to scary videos, ghost videos, or the paranormal. But that night was different. According to her, she had been trying to sleep after a long day when the same disturbing thing kept waking her up again and again. Heavy footsteps outside and that awful feeling that someone, or something, was watching her from the darkness. So she grabbed her phone and recorded what was happening. Take a look.
I'm trying to sleep, but I need you guys to see and hear what is going on. I look like shit, sorry, but like what is happening outside my patio door? Okay, hold on.
At first, everything is completely silent. Then, from the left side of the frame, a strange, pale figure glides into view, bangs repeatedly against the glass door, and then suddenly vanishes into the night. But what disturbed viewers most was not just the shape, it was the movement. The figure does not walk like a normal person. It seems to float smoothly past the door, almost like an old cartoon ghost. Which would be funny if it was not happening outside someone's home in the middle of the night. Of course, some viewers were not convinced. A few said it looked like a classic bedsheet-style hoax, especially because there are no clear legs stepping forward and no visible arms creating the banging motion. Others pointed out something just as important. The glass door has no curtain, which means reflections, shadows, and objects outside could easily create strange shapes on camera. One possible explanation is that some kind of fabric, tarp, or laundry was hanging outside, catching the wind and slapping against the glass. That could explain the gliding motion, the banging sound, and the missing limbs. But here is where it gets strange. If it really was something simple like laundry or fabric outside, wouldn't she have noticed it right away? Wouldn't she have explained it? So was this just wind and reflection playing tricks on the camera? Or did Chichila record something far more supernatural standing outside her door that night? As always, you decide. A man claims he had finally left his own home after several days of what he described as unbearable paranormal activity. He hoped that by staying somewhere else for a while, whatever had been tormenting him would finally stop. But according to him, it didn't stop at all. It followed him.
Algo está sonando en el cuarto. Creo que es el eco.
While filming inside the room, the man slowly lifts the comforter and points his camera toward the dark space beneath the bed. And for just a moment, a pair of pale, bare feet can be seen hiding underneath. Now, skeptics say the explanation could be simple. Maybe someone was under the bed, a child, a friend, or someone helping create a creepy video. But the man claims that when he checked again, only moments later, there was nobody there. What made the footage even more disturbing was the folklore people began connecting to it. In parts of Latin American paranormal tradition, there are stories of childlike entities that appear inside homes, often hiding under beds, standing in corners, or watching from places just outside clear view. Some viewers compared the figure to legends of La Niña de las Sombras, or the Shadow Girl, a spirit said to appear silently inside domestic spaces before the activity slowly becomes more aggressive. Others linked it to stories surrounding La Llorona, where crying voices or childlike figures are sometimes believed to signal a lingering supernatural presence. But according to the man, this was not the end. After several more nights of strange disturbances, he placed a Bible near the exact spot where he first saw the feet. Then, in the early hours of the morning, he says he heard a voice telling him to look underneath it. So he grabbed his phone and started recording again. Beneath the object, the same pale feet and lower legs appear once more. But this time, the footage captures something even more unsettling. A faint whisper repeating one word in Spanish, ayuda. That means help. And that is the detail that left many viewers seriously disturbed. In paranormal stories, entities that imitate children are often described as deceptive. They use soft voices, helpless cries, or words like help to lower a person's fear, drawing them closer before the activity becomes darker. So was someone hiding beneath that bed playing a disturbing prank? Or did this man record a childlike entity that followed him from one place to another? Whatever the truth is, let's hope that voice really was asking for help and not trying to lure him closer. A man in England named Adam Mawson. These days, Adam is known as a writer and director of independent films, and his TikTok page is mostly filled with travel clips, personal updates, and normal everyday content, not ghost videos or paranormal evidence. But long before any of that, back in 1991, Adam says he placed a camcorder inside his childhood home and accidentally captured something that still feels difficult to explain. And because this recording comes from more than 30 years ago, before advanced editing tools were easy for normal people to use, the footage carries that strange, raw feeling old home videos often have. Then, in April 2026, Adam finally posted a video explaining the eerie recording he captured all those years earlier. And what appears on that tape is genuinely unsettling.
So we have a follower that wants to see my Bambi Plays Shadow Ghost footage. Well, do you know what, mate? I'm going to treat you to it right now. I'm going to show you the original footage that I caught my dad's video camera back in 1991. This clip has been featured on so many paranormal shows over the years, and they tried to debunk it and they couldn't. Because what you're about to see might spook you a little bit. There you go, guys. Enjoy.
When the old footage is examined closely, something dark and transparent can be seen sitting in a chair. At first, it almost looks like a shadow burned into the room, but then the shape becomes clearer. You can make out what appears to be a human-like head, shoulders, and body. And this is where the clip becomes much harder to dismiss. The figure does not just sit there like a stain, reflection, or camera glitch. It moves. Slowly, fluidly, almost like a person rising from the chair. As the tape continues, the ghostly silhouette appears to stand up on its own, step away from the chair, and disappear completely out of frame. No jump cut, no obvious trick, just a dark apparition calmly leaving the room. So what did Adam's old camcorder really capture inside that childhood home? Was this one of the strangest shadow figures ever caught on camera from the early 90s? Or was it somehow staged long before modern editing made hoaxes easier? As always, you decide. Two men are recording outside a building late at night. The area looks quiet. Just a pale wall, a few small trees, and one window glowing bright blue against the darkness. But almost immediately, one of the men starts calling out to his friend, urging him to look toward the trees. Something has appeared outside the building, and it is standing completely still. Watch closely.
Mira, paso vieron? ¿Ah? Mira, mira, ahí se paró, mira. Ahí está parado,
Mira, Ángel.
Ángel,
Te paro, ay, mira.
Ángel, mira, está parado ahí, mira.
¿Lo ves?
Mira ese negro que está ahí se paró, mira. Y fíjate, ahí se lo mueve, mira. Ahí está parado, mira. Mira ese negro que está de lo de ahí, Ángel. Ahí está parado, ahí quedó parado, mira. Ahí se lo mueve, mira. Acércale más, acércale. Mira el negro ese que está ahí. Ahí ese.
Oh, soy.
¿Ah? ¿Arriba el techo?
No, no construí.
Mira.
Yo. Oh, soy.
¿Ah? ¿Arriba el techo?
No construí.
Mira.
Yo. Oh, soy.
¿Ah? ¿Arriba el techo?
No construí.
Mira.
Yo.
Between two trees, just to the right of the glowing blue window, a tall, pitch-black figure suddenly becomes visible. It is darker than the shadows around it, with a clear humanoid shape, head, shoulders, and a long, motionless body. For more than 30 seconds, both men stare at it in disbelief. One of them even describes it in Spanish as El negro está ahí, meaning, the black thing is standing there. Then, without walking away, without turning around, the figure simply vanishes. Gone. And if you keep watching for just a few more seconds, something even stranger appears. Behind the center tree for only a split second, a second figure can be seen, extremely tall, unnaturally thin, and pale white. Before it disappears too. Two figures, two completely different shapes, one dark and still, one pale and almost impossible to catch. Many viewers connected the first figure to shadowpeople, those dark human-shaped entities often reported in haunted places, abandoned buildings, and creepy paranormal videos. Others even compared it to stories of jinn, beings said in some traditions to move through spaces we cannot normally see. But here is the disturbing question. Did the men already feel something watching them before the camera ever captured it? Or did they accidentally record two separate entities standing outside that building in the dark? As always, you decide.
Oh, soy.
¿Ah? ¿Arriba el techo?
No construí.
Mira.
Yo.
This next clip was recorded late at night.
¿Quién está ahí?
These clips all seem to come from the same Spanish-speaking household. And what makes them unsettling is how the activity appears to grow stronger over several nights. At first, it starts quietly. A bedroom camera records someone asleep under a black and white blanket while faint city lights glow through the curtains. Nothing in the room moves. Nothing sounds out of place. But around the 6-second mark, look closely at the right side window pane. Something is already there. In the reflection, a tall, dark, humanoid figure appears near the edge of the glass. Its head and shoulders are clearly shaped, and it seems to lean into view, almost like it is watching from just outside the frame. Some viewers called it a shadow person, the kind of dark figure often reported in creepy videos, haunted homes, hallways, doorways, and reflections. Others think it could be a strange window reflection caused by outside light, but the stillness, the solid shape, and the way it seems to hold its position make the footage much harder to ignore. So, what was really standing near that window? A reflection, a person, or something paranormal caught on camera? But the family's strange recordings didn't stop there. Not long after, the woman in the home starts filming another disturbing problem. For nearly 5 minutes, the television has been changing channels by itself and lowering the volume, even though no one is touching the remote. She even wraps the remote in plastic to prove the buttons are not stuck.
Miren cómo le baja el volumen y cambia el canal. Es re pesado. Hace 5 minutos más o menos que está así. Y es el único control que hay. No lo estoy usando. Y pone el mismo canal siempre. Así que es la vieja escuela. Es el único control que hay y no tenemos. Literalmente no hay otro. No lo estoy usando. Pero si yo pongo el otro, me lo vuelve a bajar y me lo vuelve a cambiar. Es un patrón, parece que no quiere que veamos Gravity Falls y me lo baja. No lo voy a tocar más. Le vamos a tener que ver los picapiedras.
The TV keeps lowering the volume, cutting to black, and switching back to the same channel again and again. No matter what she tries to watch, it keeps returning to the Flintstones. At one point, she places the remote completely down on the bed, and the television still continues. She even says it out loud, almost like whatever is in the house does not want them watching anything else. Now, maybe this is just a technical glitch. Maybe it is signal interference, a faulty remote, or some strange software issue. But when the same channel keeps forcing itself back over and over, it starts to feel less random and more intentional. In many paranormal activity cases, electronics are believed to be affected by unseen energy, almost like something in the room is trying to communicate or control the space. The woman eventually gives in, half nervous and half frustrated, saying they may just have to watch the Flintstones. But soon, the haunting seems to move beyond electronics. During the day, she tries to light a charcoal disc used for incense and spiritual cleansing. She explains that she has already tried cleaning the space with vinegar, and this is now her 5th attempt to light it. She places the charcoal in a small white holder and walks toward the window. Listen carefully.
Voy a prender una esferita mágica porque ya había limpiado igual con vinagre el piso, pero parece que no lo calmó. Generalmente cuando prendo esto se calma un toque. El tema es que se prenda porque ya es la 5ª vez que lo trato de prender. Saltó, ¿lo vieron? Saltó. ¿Pero dónde cayó? Literalmente se partió.
Charcoal discs can crack, spark, or pop when there is trapped moisture inside. But what happens here looks far more violent than a normal reaction. The smoke, the force, and the way it bursts apart make the moment feel much more alarming. And because she was using it to cleanse the home, many viewers saw the explosion as more than just an accident. In some spiritual traditions, when a cleansing attempt fails in a dramatic way, people believe it may be a sign of resistance, as if something dark inside the house does not want to leave. By night, the woman seems even more disturbed. This time, she films the bathroom door. It is a white door with textured privacy glass, and she says she can see something standing behind it. The phone reflection makes it difficult to see at first, but then the shape becomes clear. Watch
Yo de acá lo
closely.
veo, pero el celular le da el reflejo. Literalmente no puedo ir al baño tranquila porque está él. Y no hay nadie en la casa. Nadie de nadie está en la casa.
Behind the pebbled glass, a dark human-like silhouette can be seen standing completely still. You can make out what looks like a head, shoulders, and the outline of someone waiting on the other side of the door. Then she moves the camera down the dark hallway to prove no one is there, and says plainly that there is nobody else inside the house. So now we have the same home, the same family, and several disturbing moments. A shadow figure in the window reflection, a television that seems to choose its own channel, a cleansing ritual that violently fails, and finally, a dark figure standing behind a closed bathroom door in an empty house. Was this just a series of strange coincidences, glitches, and reflections? Or did this family capture real paranormal activity inside their home? As always, you decide.
Reflejo. Literalmente no puedo ir al baño tranquila.
A TikTok user named AngusFV1. And what makes this one interesting is that his account does not normally focus on scary videos or paranormal activity at all. Most of what he posts is gaming content and simple clips of his dog. But on April 16th, 2026, he uploaded something completely different. Something strange happening with a pair of double doors inside his home. Confused by what he was seeing, he asked his dad to help record it and prove whether the door was really opening on its own.
Wait, if that's fully shot. Now, right, now let's just sit and wait. He's just lurking. Oh, f*** off! Right off! Yo! What? Nah. What the f***?
His dad firmly shuts the double doors, making sure they are fully closed. Then, to rule out wind, airflow, or a hidden draft, he drops a light plastic bag directly in front of the doorway. If there was any strong air movement in the room, that bag should have moved immediately. But it doesn't. It stays still. Then, only moments later, the heavy door suddenly unlatches and swings wide open by itself. No hand, no visible person, no clear push from the other side. And that alone is creepy enough. But when the footage is enhanced, the moment becomes much more disturbing. As the door opens, look deep into the pitch-black hallway behind it. At the far end, standing perfectly motionless in the darkness, there appears to be the outline of a dark shadow figure watching from the hallway. So was this just a loose latch, a pressure change, or some strange trick of the light? Or did Angus accidentally capture a real shadow figure inside his home? As always, you decide.